Alright, I've tested a lot of Shinobi setups, different gear combos, different play styles, all of it. And I keep coming back to this one. And I think it's because it's the most consistent and most reliable build I've used at Nightmare difficulty. And I know Shinobi gets a bad reputation. A lot of people think it's the weakest of the 4 classes, but honestly, that just comes down to how it's played. If you're trying to force it into a direct combat role, yeah, it's gonna feel underwhelming. But when you lean into what a Shinobi is actually built for, control, stealth, and precision, it easily becomes one of the strongest classes in the game. This build is all about chaining vanishes and flowing from one assassination to the next without ever giving enemies a chance to react. Between the legendary Kusarigama and blind bombs, you're constantly resetting fights, isolating targets, and deleting enemies before they even know what's happening. And the reason all of this works so well really comes down to 3 things: chain vanishes, ability cooldown, and assassination damage. Chain Vanish is the core of everything. You're extending your invisibility over and over, which keeps you safe while setting up your next kill. Ability cooldown makes sure you always have your class ability ready, so you're never stuck waiting around or forced into bad fights. And then assassination damage is what actually converts everything into instant kills. When all 3 are working together, there's no downtime. You're constantly cycling abilities, staying invisible, and picking enemies off one by one. Now, the biggest thing between a weak Shinobi and a top tier Shinobi is how you play it. The wrong way is trying to stand your ground and trade hits like a samurai. That's not your role, and it never will be. You'll burn cooldowns, take unnecessary damage, and lose all the momentum this class depends on. The right way is to stay mobile, stay patient, and pick your fights. You're constantly repositioning, waiting for openings, using tools like blind bombs for crowd control, then capitalizing with quick assassinations before slipping right back into the shadows. It's less about brute force and more about control, dictating when fights start, when they end, and who gets taken out first. One thing I can't stress enough is patience. Shinobi doesn't hit its peak immediately. You'll feel strong early, but the class really shines as you level up and unlock best in slot legendaries. Once you get Shinobi Shadow, suddenly you can vanish 3 times in a row, keeping you untouchable while setting up multiple kills. And the legendary Kusarigama, it lets you instantly vanish after killing an enemy with your spirit move, which turns every assassination into a chance to reposition and strike again. Stick with it, invest in these legendaries, and you'll see this build transform over time. If you enjoy this deep dive into the ultimate Shinobi build, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more builds on the way. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. The first weapon in this build is the Shattering Katana. It's extremely effective against sword enemies, making it much easier to stagger them. When paired with the Expert Combo perk, you can fully unleash the Ayado Charged Heavy Attack Chain, staggering enemies quickly while dealing massive damage. Across all 3 of your weapons, you'll want to stack Spirit Gain on melee and Class Ability Cooldown Reduction. Spirit Gain on melee is especially important because the vanishing Kusarigama allows you to vanish whenever you kill an enemy using the Claw and Talon spirit move. The more spirit you generate, the more often you can heal, trigger your vanish, and chain assassinations efficiently. Class Ability Cooldown Reduction is just as impactful, cutting your vanish cooldown nearly in half when stacked properly. This brings it down from 50 seconds to roughly 25 seconds, which is incredibly strong and keeps your gameplay fast and aggressive. Next up is the Vigilant Yari. Honestly, any Yari will work, just make sure you have the Quickening Tides perk. It lets you charge your Typhoon Kick much faster. This move is incredibly handy for knocking enemies off ledges or cliffs, giving you instant, easy kills. For stats, focus on Spirit Gain on melee and Class Ability Cooldown Reduction. The most lethal weapon in this build is the legendary Vanishing Kusarigama. It's not only highly effective against shields, but it also gives you access to the rolling sweep attack. Its standout feature, however, is that it triggers a vanish whenever you kill an enemy with the Claw and Talon spirit move. This makes spirit gain on melee absolutely critical. You'll need a steady supply of spirit to vanish and chain assassinations frequently. Applying the expert combo perk to your Kusarigama makes stacking spirit even easier. The Ferocious Wind charged heavy attack hits multiple targets at once, rapidly increasing your spirit gain. For this weapon, prioritize spirit gain on melee, and for the second stat, choose assassination damage. This makes a huge impact on your time to kill, especially since your build already has plenty of cooldown reduction already. That 23% boost to assassination damage will be very noticeable in your gameplay, but if you'd rather maximize cooldown speed instead, you can swap it for an additional 11% class ability cooldown reduction. Next up are blind bombs, which are arguably your strongest utility as a shinobi. Since this class relies heavily on breaking line of sight and chaining assassinations, blind bombs take the build to a whole new level. They're perfect for shinobis because they stun and blind enemies simultaneously, making it much easier to chain assassinations. And unlike Scorch Bombs, which are considered special tools, blind bombs are a common tool and drop frequently, so you'll always have access to them. For stats, focus on assassination damage and spirit move damage to maximize the efficiency of your Claw and Talon spirit move. I also recommend using increased impact to boost both the stagger and duration of your blind bombs. Your second legendary on this build is the Shinobi's Shadow Charm. This charm reactivates Vanish and refreshes the duration of your class ability whenever you successfully assassinate an enemy. What makes this incredibly powerful is that you can already refresh Vanish once thanks to your Chain Vanish passive. This charm essentially gives you an extra Vanish, allowing you to vanish up to 3 times and assassinate multiple enemies in quick succession. And that's not even counting the Vanish from your Kusarigama, or maybe even a group Vanish from another shinobi on your team. In my opinion, this is best in slot for the shinobi. For stats, focus on Spirit Heal effect to recover more when you heal, and assassination damage to maximize your offensive potential. For perks, I recommend Scavenger to increase the number of blind bombs you can pick up from the ground, but if you prefer more survivability, you can also opt in for the Healthy perk, which boosts Spirit Heal by 50%. I also recommend using a Kunai, as it allows you to roll both assassination damage and class ability cooldown reduction. Beyond stats, it's an incredibly versatile tool, perfect for staggering enemies, interrupting attacks, and if you use the Fire Kunai perk, setting enemies on fire for effective crowd control. Lastly, Smoke Bombs. This one's a no-brainer for a shinobi build. Dropping a smoke bomb conceals you, giving you a guaranteed assassination on your target, while also creating opportunities to stack Vanish and chain kills with ease. For stats, focus on assassination damage and class ability cooldown reduction. The Armory perk is also a strong choice here if you want to maximize your ghost tool efficiency, as it increases the number of pickups for both you and your teammates. For techniques, you need Group Vanish, Assassination Damage, Spirited, and Shadow Strike Vanish. Group Vanish has a 10-second faster cooldown compared to Toxic Vanish, and more importantly, it allows you to make nearby allies vanish alongside you. This ability is incredibly powerful, especially when paired with another shinobi on your team. It creates opportunities for coordinated assassinations, making point clears and survival missions significantly faster and more efficient. Timing Vanish with your teammates can completely change the pace of a fight, letting your team execute high damage strategies with precision. Assassination damage provides a flat 20% boost to your assassination attacks. This makes it far easier to one-shot specific enemies, especially when combined with Vanish abilities and other burst damage effects. It turns every stealth strike into a potential game changer, giving you the ability to quickly thin out enemy numbers before they even have a chance to react. Spirited increases your maximum spirit by 2. This is a crucial technique because spirit is required not only for healing, but also for activating your Claw and Talon spirit move. By having more spirit, you can vanish more frequently, heal when necessary, and maintain momentum in longer fights without having to rely on pickups or downtime. Finally, Shadow Strike Vanish allows you to vanish briefly after casting your ultimate. This is a game changer for chaining assassinations, extending the duration of your stealth rotations, and giving you more control over engagements. It lets you seamlessly transition from one target to the next, keeping pressure on enemies while also maintaining your safety and positioning. And that's going to wrap up our deep dive into the ultimate Shinobi build for Ghost of Yotei Legends. This setup truly shows just how deadly and versatile the Shinobi class can be when you focus on chain vanishes, high assassination damage, and precise spirit management. Remember, the key to mastering this build isn't just the gear or perks, it's patience, timing, and learning how to chain your vanishes and assassinations flawlessly. If you enjoyed this build guide and want to see more god tier setups for each class, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming Legends builds. Drop a comment below letting us know what your favorite Shinobi build is. Until next time, take care.